The 921 earthquake caused Nantou County's Guoxing Zhoufen Ershan to see 195 hectares of slope collapse. 20 years later, the local area is now green and rich in flora and fauna. Researchers at the Endemic Species Research Institute, beginning 3 years ago, set up 10 infrared cameras in Zhoufen Ershan to record wildlife movement.
2019 7月18号 J22。刚好这是一只大冠鹫，飞起来了。
The camera is set at a footpath and records a lot of precious pictures of nature.
After 20 years of restoration, the entire ecosystem has slowly been accepted by animals. As long as we humans can reduce interferences in this natural environment, animals can find their way of surviving in this natural environment.
After the 921 earthquake, the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau took control of 265 hectares of land in Zhoufen Ershan and set up the 921 Earthquake Memorial Park to promote reforestation.
The part that collapsed is that the rock face, which is not easy to handle, so we walk above it and below it, where we conducted a total of 3 reforestation actions using native plants.
南投草屯的99峰。
The best-known area affected by the 921 earthquake, Jojo Peak of Nantou's Taotun, virtually becoming a barren landscape, which was a catastrophe for animals and plants.
After the earthquake, many animals left here because it had no vegetation and no food, as well as no place to hide.
Later, according to the Cultural Asset Preservation Act, this area became a nature reserve, and it is forbidden to enter or alter the environment as the earth slowly recovered. Personnel from the Nantou Forest District Office made a complete record and observations of the area, including where the land collapsed in animal and plant ecology as well as environmental evolution.
We established this area as a natural reserve, and there are very few human disturbances here. This means that the animal and plants have had a good recovery.
Earthquake disasters are not the only threat, as in July 2001, Typhoon Toraji brought amazing rainfall. During the 921 earthquake, a large-scale earth rock flow occurred in the Xitou Forest Recreation Area, where earth and rock came loose. The landslide destroyed much of the forest despite the difficult work of reforestation. The park then used ecological methods to reduce the amount of concrete construction and use various natural materials.
Like large blocks of stones are used, and for smaller stones, we put them in a cage for reinforcement.
Trying to change the water flow path so that when landslides occur, it will not cause a large-scale disaster.
We are not saying that we really want to fight against nature, but we hope that if landslides happen, they will only have a minor impact or change to the landscape. I don't want it to be a disaster in terms of lives and property.
Actively reforestation over the years has helped restore the natural landscape of the park.
These tree species have deep roots, so it is very helpful in soil and water conservation.
After many attempts to rebuild this area, nature is finally reborn and vitality has come back, which has never been seen before.
We have gone from less than 1 million visitors to the present where we get more than 2 million a year.
The 921 earthquake, in addition to the human casualties, was a great disaster for nature. Through environmental protection and ecological rehabilitation, the injured land is slowly recovering. Nature shows the power of destruction and regeneration, and it has given us a valuable lesson indeed.